Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday morning to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day and a great week out there so far. Here to give you some updated information on a few things in this morning's video. First off, congrats to my folks in North Carolina that broke the no snow streak that dated all the way back to January of 2022. Areas between Charlotte, the Greensboro, I think there was a place in Rowan County that got over an inch of snow. So, congrats to you guys. I'm glad that worked out. I didn't get a flake here in my neck of the woods in central South Carolina, but I did just want to throw a shout out to you folks. I know Gerald, some of you folks watch his channel, GM Weather. He definitely chased that all night last night, and you could just see the pure joy on his face. And it's so relatable to me because I share the same emotions when I see snow. I just get so excited. But hopefully you got it. If you didn't, hopefully we'll have another shot this winter. But here to break down a lot of things in this morning's video, we're going to spend a lot of time on this next winter storm. And this is something that's honestly kind of snuck up on me, but this is going to be a high-impact winter storm for a pretty large area, stretching from the Great Lakes area all the way to the northeast, even stretching all the way down to maybe like the Central Apps. Really speaking of West Virginia, could bring a little bit of snow all the way down to the Southern Apps, but I don't think it's going to get much further south than that. But we're going to get very detailed on this, show you individual graphics from the National Weather Service. It should at least show a town close to you, but definitely, ask away in the comments if you're wondering about your specific location or zip code. But we're really going to get very detailed on this. After we get done doing that, we will discuss today's forecast. And then we'll, go a little bit further ahead in the future and talk about what we are seeing just going forward throughout the next several days of December, as there is a growing storm signal in the middle of the country. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So this is what's going on right now. Out west, it's quiet. The eastern U.S., for the most part, pretty quiet also. We got some moisture trying to brew down here in southern Texas, but, not a whole lot going on. And there is the leftover energy from the snow that crossed, all the way from, it basically started in Canada and went all the way down to the Carolinas. And, it wasn't just the Carolinas. It was Tennessee, Nashville got some snow. I think some flurries made it all the way down to northern Alabama, maybe. Let me know if you saw anything. But it definitely dropped a nice coating of festive snow across everywhere. Of course, some people view it differently than others. We are always thinking about our folks here in North Carolina. I know there's still people living in tents, and it's been a pretty cold start to December for sure. But, unfortunately, it does look like it's going to be pretty frigid over the next several mornings also. But we got the lake effect snow, and you see this energy up here coming out of Canada, already dipping into sections of Minnesota and North Dakota. This is really going to develop into just a huge area of low pressure, and it's going to anchor over the Great Lakes region, the Northeast, reinforce the cold air, and this is just going to bring a lot of snow across a pretty broad area. So this is the area we're watching. So let's go on and dive deep into this. We're going to focus in on the eastern half of the U.S. because this is obviously where the winter storm is going to impact. And we're starting off tomorrow morning. You notice blue is the snow, green is the rain. What you'll notice here is a lot of this is going to start to come down into the Ohio Valley in the Northeast. And here it comes. We're getting into Thursday. And Wednesday night into Thursday is really the big day of this. We're going to get a lot of blustery snow up here in the Great Lakes region. We take it all the way to Thursday morning. It's snowing all the way down to the highlands of West Virginia, western Maryland, Allegheny Mountains, PA. I really think there's a shot to get a little bit of snow all the way down to the I-95 corridor. And, this is Thursday morning, snowing pretty good. It looks very scattered, meaning some areas getting light snow, some areas getting heavy snow in the darker blues. It tries to connect the little southern stream energy down here, so this could actually bring some rain to the deep south. It's been kind of dry lately. But we start to get into Thursday afternoon. Still snowing pretty heavily in the interior Northeast New England area, snowing in southern Ontario. And this eventually could turn to maybe a more bigger system, a larger system for, New Brunswick. But we're still left over with more lake effect snow after this as cold air spills over the Great Lakes. So this will keep some of that lake effect snow going all the way into Friday morning. And it'll be a cold, at least start to the weekend before finally we start to steadily warm up as we get into early next week. But here's a look at the Euro with this system. And just I would just call this a huge area of low pressure. There's a lot of unsettled weather. It's not a super organized central low pressure. It's actually just kind of waves of multiple lower pressures, if that makes sense. Just a huge area of unsettled weather, which unsettled weather in this case meaning snow. And same thing with the Euro. I mean, this moves in. Let's back it up a little bit. This is tomorrow evening. Look at all the snow up here in the Great Lakes region. I mean, snow potentially all the way down to Milwaukee, snow all the way down to Detroit, snow all the way down to Cleveland, which has winter storm watches right now, a little bit of light snow. We'll have to see what this looks like in some of the mesoscale models as we move over the next 24 hours. We're in range of some of them, not all of them yet. Just want to wait a little bit. But we start to get, into Thursday morning, snow all the way down to the Central Alps again. It's been a nice start to the ski country here in the mountains of the Alps here. But, we're getting scattered snow showers across the Ohio Valley, heavier snow in southern Ontario. Look at the interior New England snow. And I do think a low pressure will try to start to really get going here. And I do think this will make a more higher impact winter storm up here for like Maine. But don't get me wrong, a lot of snow could fall for a lot of areas, and this will just be a large system. But I don't think anywhere will get necessarily 3 feet of snow or anything like that. I don't think this will develop into a nor'easter or anything like that. But as we were starting to get into Friday morning, just left with the lake effect snow, and we could get another clipper that kind of dives down, enhances a little bit more snow, and another clipper before finally this is heading out and we start to moderate the pattern temperature-wise. And then I will kind of throw you guys a bone up here in New Brunswick. The Euro's saying, hey, watch out getting into Thursday. A lot of heavy snow in New Brunswick. This looks like mostly rain in Nova Scotia and even the coastal areas of like southern New Brunswick. But we have to watch, see if we can get a little bit of cold air, a little bit more of a southerly track with this. But this is getting into Thursday night. Still a high-impact storm system and just a lot of precipitation associated with this. I mean, it almost covers up this entire screen. So definitely be aware of this. This could still be a high-impact storm system for you guys, and I'll continue to keep the coverage going for you folks if it's needed for sure. So let's go on and start this off, and we're going to work our way through this, at a moderate pace. I don't want to try to mention every single town, but I do want to try to cover all the main areas. So we're going to start off from west to east. We'll dip down south a little bit. Do a little dance. Just kidding. I can't dance. But anyways, we'll start off in northern Minnesota. And I'm going to show you actual graphics. This was issued, just after midnight. This is out of Duluth. This is stretching from 6 a.m. this morning all the way to 12 p.m. Central Time Thursday. So this is how much snow they're calling for. Not a big event, 2 to 4 inches in International Falls. You start to hug the western coastline of Lake Superior. You get kind of some enhancement off this. So you get into the far northeast corner of Minnesota, almost a half a foot. Duluth, only maybe nothing to an inch. Hurley, 5 to 10 inches of snow. Ashland could get a trace, could get 3 inches. And once you get south of this area, not expecting a whole lot. All right, so this is between 7 a.m. Today and 7 a.m. Thursday. So basically the next 48 hours is the latest information around 3:12 a.m. Eastern Time out of Marquette. This is going to be a hefty event. This is going to be a combination between just snow with the system and then lake enhanced snow. So this is what we're looking at. I mean, Marquette, 6 to 9 inches of snow. Copper Harbor, 8 to 11. Houghton, 9 to 12. Ironwood, 6 to 9 inches of snow. Newberry, 7 to 10. I would say all of the eastern sections over the next 24 hours. And, you guys have been relaying a lot of information, Steven. A lot of people up here. You guys have gotten a lot of snow. It was really warm, and then all of a sudden, here's winter. A lot more snow's on the way, unfortunately. And, the eastern half of the UP of Michigan, I mean, anywhere, basically the entire UP of Michigan, anywhere from 3 inches to about a foot of snow is possible with this. And Gaylord, I mean, 8 to 13 inches of snow. St. Ignace, it's 9 to 12. So, yeah, good bit of snow here. But, this only extends from 7 a.m. today to about 7 p.m., tomorrow. So about the next, 36 hours. So they don't want to have the full extension of this forecast. So this isn't the entire storm. But Grayling, 3 to 4 inches of snow. Cadillac, 3 to 4. We're down in the lower Michigan now. Grand Rapids, 1 to 2. Interlachen, Detroit, Bad Axe, 1 to 2 inches of snow. And then we dip it a little bit further south. Cleveland. All right, this is between right now and 7 p.m. Thursday. 5 inches of snow in Cleveland. You get, just west of Cleveland, not as much. East of Cleveland, more. That's been the general theme of the last week or so. Chardon, 9 inches. Cortland, 5 inches. Akron, 3 inches. Youngstown, 3 inches of snow. Erie, 15 inches of snow. Edenboro, 16. Corey, 17. Meadville, 10 inches of snow. Old City, 7. Andover, 7. Canton only an inch, but this could increase down here. Don't lose hope if you live down here in southern sections of Ohio. Could get a little bit more. Then we dip it a little bit further away. Pittsburgh, an inch or less between now and 7 p.m. Thursday. Morgantown, an inch. Tara, 4 inches. Cumberland, I would say the far western sections of Maryland, a couple inches of snow easily with this. Butler, 2 inches. St. Mary's in PA, 7 inches of snow. State College, 2 inches of snow. And we kind of dip it a little bit further. Athens, Ohio, an inch. Parkersburg, an inch. Clarksburg, 2 inches. Davis, 4 inches. So this is between now and 7 p.m. Thursday. Same thing with this. This is more of West Virginia. Snowshoe, about 2 inches. This could increase. Elkins, 4 inches. Because some northwest flow snow could continue after this. Beckley, about an inch. Logan, about an inch. Even a little bit more snow in eastern Kentucky. It's been a nice start to winter for, I would say, northeast Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, and even just West Virginia. It really has. I mean, some people might disagree, but it has been. It's been another nice start to winter for Tennessee, too. Nashville, a little dusting of snow. I know you guys' standards are different than maybe some areas further south, but St. Mary's, 5 to 9. Calder Sports, 4 to 7. Wellsboro, 2 to 4 in PA. We're in Pennsylvania now. State College, 2 inches or less. Williamsport, 1 to 2. Scranton, 2 inches or less. Allenton, inch or less. We get down to Johnstown, 3 to 6, 3 to 5, and Somerset, hopefully I said that right, 3 to 5 inches of snow. And then once you get into southeast PA, an inch or less. I definitely think you'll get some snow flying around. Up to Buffalo now. We should have went over to New Jersey. I got New Jersey here in a second. Buffalo. Listen, I mean, I'm not sure how much. It depends on if you live on the northern or southern end of the town. But definitely a sharp cutoff. Between now and 7 a.m. Friday, 8 inches of snow in Buffalo. Jamestown, 12. Springville, 14. Rochester, 4. Lockport, 7. Sodus, 7 inches. Pulaski, 14. Watertown, another 8 inches of snow. Lowville, 9. Old Forge, 8 inches. Utica, 7. Fulton, 7. I think I already said that. Ithaca, 3 inches. Binghamton, even 3 inches of snow. Hancock, 3 inches of snow. So, yeah. And, I guess we're dipping a little bit further north, too. But, Albany, New York, about an inch. Gloversville, 5 inches. Glens Falls, 2 inches. Manchester, and southern Vermont, which I'll show more of here in a second, 7 inches of snow between now and 7 p.m. Thursday. Pittsfield, Mass, 3 inches. Torrington, 3 inches. And Connecticut, 3 inches of snow. And then we book it a little bit further south. It's between, now and about the entirety of the event. A dusting to a half an inch, maybe an inch of snow is possible. And sections of New Jersey. New Brunswick, about 0.2 of an inch. Mount Holly, 1/10 of an inch of snow. Camden, 0.2 of an inch of snow. So a little bit of snow for these areas. Philadelphia, maybe a couple tenths of an inch of snow. We go up to Mass. And not calling for anything in Boston. Fitchburg, about 4 inches. Worcester, about an inch or so of snow. Springfield, maybe just a little under an inch. Greenfield, 3.5 inches of snow. So not a big event for you folks, but this could change. Waterbury, inch and 0.2. And then we head on up here to the Adirondacks and, Malone, 3 to 4 inches of snow. Cranberry Lake, 4 to 5. Newcomb, 3 to 4. Manchester, 6 to 7. Brattlesboro, which I think is where you live, Robin, or either Bennington, 3 to 4 inches of snow. They butchered this forecast for the last event. We'll see what you get with this, but several inches of snow expected down here. Stowe, 4 inches. St. Jonesbury, 4 inches of snow. Montpelier, about 2 to 3 inches of snow. Newport, 3 to 4. And then we look at New Hampshire. Plymouth, 3 to 4. Concord, 2 to 3. Manchester, 2 to 3. Jaffrey, 4 to 6. Lebanon, 2 to 3. Littleton, 3 to 4. Colebrook, 4 to 6 inches. Rumford in Maine, 4. Rangeley, 4 to 6. Jackman, 4 to 6 inches. Auburn, 2 to 3. Augusta, 1 to 2 inches of snow. So definitely more snow. And then it looks like the big winner of this system is going to be Maine. This is between now and pretty much the entirety of the event. Caribou going for 8 to 12, so packing down that snowpack. Greenville, 8 to 12. Clayton Lake, 6 to 8. Dickey, 6 to 8. Fort Kent, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Lincoln, 4 to 6. Bangor, 3 inches. Down east areas of Maine, just a couple inches of snow. Not a big event for you folks. Holton, 4 to 6. So, And then just a larger view of this, because I'm sure I'm going to have somebody in the comments saying, you never mentioned this, that, and the other, folks. I have to be complete. I haven't complained at all much lately, but I have to be completely honest with you. I think that people could disown me, call me names, say I suck, all of that. I mean, they could make some of the most nastiest negative comments to me. But I can tell you, some of the comments that probably irk me the most, that test me the most, are the ones that say, you never talk about X. You never talk about this. You never talk about this. Is it going to kill you to mention Billy Bob Town? Is it going to kill you to mention Kentucky? Is it going to kill you to mention Ohio? Guys, I think that you can agree that I already get extremely detailed in my videos. And it's not a shot at anybody else, but I would venture to say that I'm probably one of the most detailed weather YouTubers out there. In fact, that's another negative comment I get, is that my videos are way too long. But I take pride in doing that. So it always blows my mind how you somehow get someone that complains about missing their town. If I was to spend time to mention every town in the videos, folks, I would be talking for a day straight. So just remember that. It's important to know where you live, folks. For example, if I show Akron, Ohio, and you live in a small town south of Akron, Ohio, and it doesn't show it on a map, well, if it's calling for 2 to 3 inches of snow in Akron, Ohio, I would say if you live 10, 15 miles away from that area, you might as well say, probably 2 to 3 inches of snow there. So don't get so hyper-focused on that kind of stuff. Just know where you live on a map. And that, I'm not meaning that in any kind of way. I talk to you guys like you're right here in front of me, like you're my best friend, something I do with the channel. But just want to throw that out there. Love you guys, mean it, I do. But watches, warnings, and advisories. Let's talk about today's forecast, and then we'll jump ahead to the end of the video and speak on maybe what's to come. Watches, warnings, and advisories, winter storm watches, and the teal color for what's to come. We still got those lake effect snow warnings up that never show on Pivotal Weather for whatever reason. Winter storm warnings up for sections of southeastern Michigan. So we do have those winter weather alerts, winter weather advisories continuing for the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee especially. And I'll tell you, that snow event we got last night in central North Carolina, and I would argue even areas of Tennessee, was winter weather advisory criteria. I don't know what causes them to not to pull the trigger on it as much. But anyways, freeze warnings still continuing. It has just been cold. It's cold. We definitely made an abrupt shift to winter. Southeast, as far as the weather today, nothing. Just cold, high pressure dominating. And folks, on your way, hopefully you still maybe got a little snow on the ground, a little festive, but on your way home tonight across the Southeast, especially the Carolinas and just the Mid-South and up to the Mid-Atlantic, the temperatures are going to plummet. There's a lot of people that will get home tonight and about 5:30, 6 o'clock if you're working an 8 to 5 job, and the temperatures will already be in the 20s by the time you get home. It's going to be one of those nights where it just gets really cold. So, they're going for like 19, 20 degrees here in my location. Central South Carolina, the armpit of hell, is going to hit 20 degrees. So you know it's going to be cold. But you continue to go forward here all the way into Wednesday morning. And, not a whole lot going on. Up here in the Northeast, besides lake effect energy and just on and off snow showers, I think New York City could get some snow flurries today. A little bit of a festive day maybe. And then we start to get into southern New England, maybe some snow showers in Rhode Island, Long Island, Connecticut. Snow showers just across New England in general. And then lake effect snows will kind of dance around off Erie and Ontario, deliver just additional snowfall totals. And then as we're waking up tomorrow morning, southern Ontario will be getting hit by some snow, maybe convective in nature, might be waking up to some heavy snow. Definitely a wild system. This will be a tough one to break down. I'm just going to kind of take a more just generic approach to it. Not going to really try to explain what's happening with the system. Just a broad area low pressure, trough digging down, etc. The south central U.S., we are getting some rain down here in the southern sections of Texas. Just some scattered rain showers for you folks for the southern half of Texas. And they're just kind of dancing around down here. But not a big rainmaker. Few tenths of an inch of rain as possible. And eventually this could rise all the way up into the Dallas area tomorrow, where some rain will finally blossom, become more widespread. And we'll have a little bit more of a weather topic here and the south central U.S. Eastern Texas getting a little bit of rain, getting into Louisiana tomorrow, but we'll speak more on that in the next video. But up here in the north central U.S., here comes the beginning stages of our system. So we're getting into this afternoon. We're getting snow over Lake Superior, and then snow will make its way away from northern Minnesota, moving to northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan. And then by the time we get into this evening, it'll be a very snowy evening across the UP of Michigan. Folks, I tell you, man, as time goes by, it really just makes me want to move north. And I think I'm starting to win my wife over a little bit. I think I win her over a little bit more week by week. What holds my wife back is our family, basically. But I tell you what, I think once upon a time we were thinking about moving after the girls graduate, but we might end up moving before that. But who knows? Who knows? That's God's plan, and I don't want to move just because of snow. Definitely want to move because of a real true reason, but I would love to experience somewhere that just has more of a winter. That's for sure. Just that's my happy place. But anyways, we get into this evening. It's snowing pretty good. Snowing across the Great Lakes region, snowing across the UP of Michigan, snowing across northern lower Michigan. And this continues just to spin around. And it's not done after that. We'll get into tomorrow morning and becomes more probably of a lake enhanced thing. But real cold air spills over the Great Lakes, and we just another just snowy day across the Great Lakes belt. So the western U.S., I know I haven't talked about you guys much, but it's pretty quiet. Karen, I hope you're going well. Hadn't heard from Ron in San Diego in a long time. Emailed him, checked on him a couple months back, and he seems like he's doing fine. But thinking about you, Bill in Las Vegas. Hope you're doing well, and hope you all are doing well out west. There's just not much to talk about, so I do apologize for only giving you guys about 20 seconds of fame. But the eastern U.S., listen, these are high temperatures today. Highs might not get out the 40s in some areas of the panhandle of Florida. Highs will only be in the 40s in all of Georgia, the Carolinas, Alabama, 30s in Tennessee, and then just sub-freezing temperatures once you get north of that. So definitely you can tell what the axis of the trough is, and just a cold day for sure. And out west, it's much warmer. Might be losing a tick of our snowpack, but, you know, everything always changes. If it's cold out east, eventually it'll get cold out west, and then, you know, vice versa. So remember when I was all warm in the central and eastern U.S., it was cold out west, and it flipped. It always does. So that's one thing that you don't have to really nerd out with. The pattern always flips. But speaking of nerding out, remember what we're looking at here is the 500 millibar chart here. So the blue is lower pressure, colder air, and then the red you see on your screen, or orange, whatever you want to call it, that is higher pressure, that's ridging, that's typically associated with above average temperatures, calmer conditions. So we're starting this morning, big blue area over the eastern U.S., just unsettled weather and cold air, more importantly. Then here comes that next system that's going to bring the winter storm across the Great Lakes in the northeast, areas of the mid-Atlantic, as we're getting over the next couple days. This will bring another shot of cold air. And then, you know, that's kind of all she wrote with the reinforcing shots of cold air. You know, we start to kind of get into the late weekend period. A ridge builds over the eastern U.S. Big area of lower pressure in blue drops into the western to central section of the country. And to me, this spells some sort of storm system over the middle of the country. Now, how does this evolve? What does that look like? I'm not quite sure. I'm going to show you some operational runs here in a second. But this is a very moving pattern. You know, the ridge doesn't really anchor over the eastern U.S. I mean, it hangs out, but, I mean, there's a possibility after we get past day 10, southeast ridge really flexes its guns. But, you know, and then we get a trough out west. And here it is. It's a perfect example. We've had a big trough in the east, colder conditions for the last week or so. All right, and then as we're getting into the middle portion of the month, and this is pretty far out, 312 hours out, here's a big ridge over the west now, the east, and a big trough out west. So it always flips. So I think it is going to get a little bit more unsettled for the western half of the lower 48. Now, as far as what does this look like on paper, right? Well, we move past the system over the next couple of days. We start to get a lot of Gulf moisture bubbling up. Now, we got to watch for flooding. Okay, first system kind of gets going with the system. All right, this is definitely a cutter, and this is all rainmaker. So here we go. We got a big rainmaker on top of all the snow on the ground for the Great Lakes regions like Erie and Ontario. It just seems like that's the way it works. Arctic air mass, then we get flooded with just warmer and moist air. So we're going to get a big rainmaker across the eastern U.S. as we get in the late this coming weekend into early next week. And we could get another rainmaker. And then we get this more powerful system showing on the GFS about 6 to 7 days out. This wants to bring, snow across the Rockies and then snow across the southern and central plains. That's not a forecast. But this would be a pretty powerful land cyclone cutting across the middle of the country. So that's something we have to watch. Is there going to be any kind of consistency with that? And then there's another system that shows up and a little bit of cold air catching up with it. And this is in the 8 to 10 day range. And we got to watch that one also. But once we get past that, there's really no point in looking at anything past day 10. What about the Euro? Show anything similar? Here comes a couple clippers. We're getting into this weekend. We're getting into Sunday. We're getting into Monday. Here comes a system bringing all that rain for, the Ohio Valley, the Midwest even. All the way up into maybe the UP of Michigan. And then this could turn into a little bit of snow for certain sections of the favored regions of New England, the Northeast. And I will say the Euro does show something similar to GFS with some of these southern high plains snows that's showing up. And then it does show the system cutting across the middle of the country. This could bring severe weather. This is a pattern coming up that could support severe weather. Some people have already chattered about that. We don't know the details of it. But, there's another system 10 days out for the eastern U.S. But what I can tell you guys is if you're a big cold weather fan, enjoy the next few to several days through the weekend because we are going to shift to a warmer pattern. How warm? I'm not quite sure. One thing I'll tell you is if you look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook, I'm going to do this on the fly here. The 6 to 10 day outlook is already shifting back to near normal. Still above normal in the central to western U.S., but one thing you'll notice here is if we look at the 8 to 10 day temperature outlook, almost the entire country going for slightly above normal temperatures to maybe a little bit higher chances of above normal temperatures. I think the western U.S., portions of the central U.S. could eventually, in the next couple outlooks, go to blue for a chance for below average temperatures. So we're definitely shifting, guys. How long does that last? Do we get cold again just in time for the holidays? I'm not quite sure. We're only on December 3rd. We need to focus on what's right in front of us. But that's all I got. God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon.